Hey guys, how's it going? Professor Shuckle here, and I'm back with another Pokemon Draft League video. Today I'll be going over my Week 2 game for the Well against Ghost, who's a really good friend of mine and a good person, really sweet guy. And for those of you who haven't seen my previous videos, I uploaded a draft analysis where I attempted to draw every single Pokemon that I picked. And then I also uploaded my week 1, which was a live commentary. So I commentated as the game was going on, so you can see my live reactions and thought process. But this time I decided to do a post-com, mostly because I said I would do it in the last video, just to see which format I like better. But also because I was playing another game, so I kind of ran out of time to record the intro before I started playing, so I had to just jump into the battle. And I did not want to record without, giving a little bit of insight into the matchup, as well as the team I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. So, yeah, without much further ado, let's jump into the matchup. For those of you who may have forgotten our team, it consists of Iron Valiant, Goldengo, Landorus T, Rotom Wash, Zarude, Arcanine, Hisuian, Noivern, Dunsparce, Quagsire, and Muk. Our opponent has a roster of Chien-Pao, Iron Treads, Quaquaw Wall, Ceruledge, Screamtail, Toxtricity, Braviary, Hisuian, Serena, Hydreigon, Ditto, and Fargiraf? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Pretty strong team. A lot of breakers, a lot of pivoting options, a lot of setup options. So definitely a scary team. Also, just a reminder, this league is a no Terra league. Like, none of the Pokemon can Terra at all, which is why I'm playing in it. Otherwise, I would probably not be playing. So that's definitely fun and, makes this matchup a little more manageable than it otherwise would be. Anyway, threats to my team. Chien-Pao is super scary. Like, slap on a band on that thing and click Crunch. My Dark Resist, one of my Dark Resist is weak to its other stab, which is Zarude, and the other Dark Resist, which does resist it 4 times, is not one of the bulkiest mons to be switching in to take hits. Like, I'm sure Iron Valiant probably takes like 60-70% from Bandit Crunch still. So yeah, Chien-Pao, definitely a huge threat, and how I'm going to go about it is basically I'm not going to switch with what's in front, because I cannot let it SD either, because SD plus Shard covers covers Scarfer, Scarf Zarude, or Booster Energy Iron Valiant to Scarf Valiant and stuff. The only way would be like Scarf Goldengo, but then he could also be Sucker Punch, right? So it's a little tricky to dealing with that. So we definitely have to be careful around Chien-Pao and not make passive plays. Iron Tread's really good in this matchup defensively. It's not the best offensively because we have a Rotom, so I can't really do much. Like, the best thing you can do is Iron Defense Body Press. But I don't think, that's the bring here necessarily. I also have a Noivern and stuff. Like, the more likely bring is it's just Rocks, Rapid Spin, Knockoff, Ice Spinner, maybe Volt, something along those lines, right? A lot more bulkier, maybe Heavy Slam so it can OHKO the Iron Valiant. Something along that line, I think. But definitely I can see Knockoff or Rapid Spin coming, because I don't think anything else on this team gets Knockoff, so this is the only thing, and getting rid of items is always good. The Gate Duck or Quaquaw Wall, really scary here. We do have a couple of water resist, but again, it can always, with the right resist berry and getting the Aqua Step boost, can definitely be scary if he has the correct lure berry and is able to take us out. And then it can definitely spiral out of hand and put a lot of pressure on like Quagsire, which is forced to check a lot of things here. Ceruledge, I wasn't sure what kind of set it would come. Looked a little bad into my team because I have a Noivern. Although recently I learned it gets Dragon Claw, so what do I know? And definitely has like Sneak, and Bitter Blade still hits hard, but there's a Rotom and, Scarf Zarude and stuff, so not sure. I feel like I do handle it okay for the most part, as long as I don't give it like +2/+2, because it does have weak armor. And like it's not the flash fire set's not that good because Arcanine can easily bop it with like a head smash, right? So it's not. So I don't think Starlight is gonna come, but look at how cool he looks, right? I wish it came just because it's so cool, but I doubt it comes. Screamtail definitely coming here. It's probably his best check to the Iron Valiant outside of lower berries because nothing on his team appreciates the Iron Valiant, right? Like if it was Specs, if it was Bane, and I just start clicking buttons, it's definitely tough. So I feel like the Screamtail will be tailored to dealing with the Iron Valiant. But he will have to be careful because it does let in Goldengo for free, and that's not something he deals with really well. So I could maybe see like a Baton Pass or um, maybe Combine Flamethrower. I don't know if it's going to cut it because it's going to be bulky, right? And its offensive stats aren't the greatest, so not really sure. I could see some offensive doubles maybe putting in the work, like Screamtail doubling into Goldengo or something. Although, I mean, it's not the end of the world for him because he can always wish as I go Goldengo and then swap out into Iron Treads, which should be able to take on the Goldengo hits pretty easily. Toxtricity definitely scary because my both my ground types don't like Boom Burst, and as a whole, my team doesn't like Boom Burst plus Overdrive. So I could definitely see Toxtricity coming. If it's Scarf, it might have to predict clicking, but like Shift Gear, Throat Spray could definitely be scary. And Toxic Spikes could definitely be scary because I don't like, Muck is not something you really prepare for. Although 3 of my Mons are immune to Toxic Spikes, so depends what he sees as more valuable. The Bravery definitely scary as well. I've seen like Agility, Life Orb, Sheer Force go in, or like Tinted Lands can definitely be scary, and we'll have to play carefully around it for sure. Serena, I don't think it's the best matchup because I believe it's walled by Goldengo because it lost knockoff this gen. And he has 2 better spinners in Quaquawall and Treads. So I don't really think the Serena serves a purpose here, to be honest, other than a bulky one maybe to check Lando. But Lando has U-turn, which is going to hurt. So I'm not sure if Serena is the best. It might end up like losing momentum for him. I could see it to come for like Zarude, maybe Zarude plus Rotom plus Lando, like a super defensive one. But I still feel like it might be a momentum drain, so could see it, could not see it. Hydreigon is really good here. Probably his best Scarfer, if I had to guess. Really good into Rotom, because Rotom can't really hit it. My team's Spidef is not that great. It's only the Dunsparce, really, and Rotom if I, invest in it, and Mach. But, like, again, Dunsparce and Mach are the lower end of my draft, so not necessarily things you would expect to come. Ditto can definitely be scary, and as I had said in my previous, match, I have a lot of setup. And, my mons don't hit hard off the bat, necessarily. Actually, that's wrong. So, I feel like my mons are, slightly weaker than they seem, but then I realized most of them are clicking really high base power moves. Like Moonblast is one of the best spammable moves in the game. Goldengo clicks Make It Rain, Lando clicks Earthquake, and Lando has a crazy attack anyway. Rotom clicks Hydro Pump, Zarude clicks Power Whip Close Combat, Arcanine has Flare Blitz Head Smash, Noivern has Noivern's a Noivern, but whatever. You get my point, click high base power moves, so my team is actually on paper, it seems weak, but in practice, it seems to be okay for the moment, even though I don't really like it, but we'll see. So Hydreigon, I think, is really good because I don't really switch in that well into it, especially if it predicts right. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Hydra. It's off the ground, so I can also check Lando, although it doesn't have Roost, so it doesn't really like U-turns. Could see Nasty Plot to try and abuse Rotom, or Sub, maybe, because Sub uses prediction. Because you only need Flash Cannon, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse? Draco? Ditto, definitely scary, right? Copying something like Iron Valiant, because they have to worry about that, or Goldengo. So, can definitely be tricky to play around, so have to keep that in mind. And for Giraffe, I don't really expect coming, I don't know what it does. Giraffe rate 2.0, So Wish Protect, I think it's stronger. Maybe you can check Goldengo with like AV or like Spit F Wish Pass. I don't know. I don't think it's coming. Anyway, let's jump into the team. Well, actually, before we do that, let me talk about what on my team stands out. On Valiant, as usual, stands out. Physical, special, whatever I want it to be. I just have to be good with chipping down the Scream Tail, because that'll probably be tailored to dealing with the Valiant. And I do have free Goldengo on the Valiant if I'm at a good amount of health, because I don't really need to risk, like, you know, if I'm like at 30 or 40, I can get to it killed by Flamethrower, right? But if I'm at full, like, I just wall the Scream Tail, because it can't Thunder Wave me, it can't Encore me because of my ability, which is really good. Orlando seems really good in this matchup. It's a lot of his team gets like ice coverage, so it's not the best setup wise unless I run sub. But it's really good at dishing out damage because he doesn't have the best ground resist. And his only two ground resists are Serena and Hydra, and if I hit them, catch them with the U-turn, then that's gonna hurt. And Hydra doesn't have recovery, so that damage is going to stick. And Serena is probably going to be slower, so we get a free U-turn into Goldengo and get momentum that way. Excuse me. So yeah, Lando pretty strong. I can always get up rocks, and I think it hits pretty hard, so that's good. Sorry, for Rotom again, very good just in general because it's like a sponge, pivot, Gloomon. It checks Iron Treads really well. It's a good switch into Pokewall. It can switch into Ceruledge. It can kind of switch into Chien-Pao. So stuff like that, it's pretty solid as usual. You can Volt Switch, Hydro, Will-O-Wisp, Screens, whatever. Like Rotom, once again, like you can do Nasty Plot, probably not the set this time. But Scarf would still be good, like Trick is pretty solid. So Rotom Wash, definitely really good into this matchup. Zarude is not the best, but it's probably a needed necessity just to make sure the Quaquaval doesn't get out of hand, so like a Scarf set. And just clicking U-turn, because Sword Stance is probably going to get revenged by Chien-Pao unless I run Yachi, but also like Iron Treads is faster, so it can knock off, and Scream Tail is faster and can Encore. And if I click the wrong button into Ceruledge, then it could be a problem. So, you know, and like Scarf Hydra can take it out, or Scarf Toxtricity, so I thought Scarf Zarude is just a necessity this game, just to make sure Pokewall doesn't get out of hand and I don't lose to Scarf Tox or Scarf Hydra. Arcanine is okay in this matchup. He doesn't really switch into it well. It's only the Pokewall, which can always carry Aqua Jet to, you know, cover the Arcanine. But outside of that, it hits pretty hard. But I guess it's just, once again, like, it's kind of hard to bring it in. So, like, it definitely has a matchup depending on the 6 you bring. Noivern also, like, has a matchup to defog if needed, but I believe his only hazards are rocks and T-Spikes. And if we bring Goldengo, Lando, and Rotom and a Scarf Zarude, where the HP doesn't matter, we don't really care about T-Spikes too much. So maybe we can forego defog this time. And yeah, the rest of my mons are like, Quacks has probably Essential too, because his team is very physical, and we probably need something to not insta-lose to them early game. So yeah, without much further ado, let's jump into our team. Signing up, we have Landorus making its debut off the bench. We're running enough speed for the Quaquaval, so we're hitting 297, I believe, and just max attack Jolly because, as I said, we doesn't have the best ground resist. So we're running Stealth Rock, Earthquake, U-turn, and Taunt. Earthquake hits his team pretty hard, as I said. The only thing it doesn't hit are the Braviary, Serena, and Hydra, and I can U-turn on all of them. And Taunt was just to stop, like, if a Fur Giraffe comes or Scream Tail is slow for whatever reason. Like, if it's just max HP, max defense, I believe Scream Tail will be slower then, because I think it hits like 283 or something, if I'm not wrong. So I can just taunt it, do stop it in its track, or if the Serena is low, I can taunt it so it cannot synthesis up, and then I can U-turn out. So stuff like that, I thought taunt might be useful in that sense. Or if I'm low and I know the Quaquaval is there, and if it clicks Sword Stance and then an Aqua Step, I lose. So I can just maybe taunt it to prevent the SD, something like that, basically. Next up, we have Rotom, which is our dedicated lead. It's running Black Sludge with Trick, and we're pretty mixed defensive just to take on hits on both sides because I felt I couldn't be fully Spidef, even though my team kind of needs the Spidef, just because his team is a lot more physical than special. So this is kind of like the mixed in between. And we're running Volt Hydro, the usual Rotom Trick, because we're going to lead it and Trick Black Sludge. And what Trick Black Sludge does is if he doesn't have a poison type and I trick it, Black Sludge makes you lose HP instead of gain HP, which is pretty cool. I didn't go Sticky Bar because I have a lot of moves that make contact, and in case his Iron Treads knocks me or something, I don't want to take the Sticky Barb, so I went with Black Sludge. Ideally, I catch the Scream Tail or Hydra. Both of them would be really good. But even catching like... Even catching like... What else would I catch? Ditto or something could be pretty cool. So, yeah. That's the... And I put Light Screen because, as I said, my team is not very specially defensive, so Light Screen kind of just helps with that. Next up, we have Zarude, the Choice Scarf. As I explained, I think it's kind of a needed demon, or needed crutch, necessity, whatever you want to call it. And we're just running enough speed for the Hydra. U-turn, Power Whip, Close Combat Crunch, Max Attack. This is to stop the Coco Wall from winning after an Aqua Step, so we'll be faster than Scarf Hydra, faster than Scarf Toxtricity. So pretty much not to lose to anything that speed boosts. And if you're at full, I don't think the Chien-Pao Ice Shard kills unless it's banded. So if you know it's not banded, then we can take that out as well. Next up, we have a Colbur Berry Goldengo with not sure of the speed. I think I have enough speed for modest Toxtricity, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, it's a bulky, pretty offensive Goldengo with stabs, so make it rain, Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot, and Recover. This mon is to abuse the Serena, to abuse the for Giraffe, I guess, to abuse the what's its name, Screamtail, and we can plot up as the Screamtail if you get in on the Screamtail, or even fire off a free Make It Rain or Shadow Ball if you really want, depending on what the Screamtail clicked, and apply some pressure that way. If the Chien-Pao comes in, after like a Serena U-turn maybe, trying to pressure, that's what the Colbur is there for, to like force that trade, because Mega Rain super effective and it's just gonna bop any Chien-Pao, and we live a crunch, and making that trade is really good because, as I said, we can't afford to switch versus the Chien-Pao. The Colbur also works for Hydra. Like if you have a Nasty Plot up, we can obviously make it rain and take out the Hydra with the Colbur as long as it doesn't flinch us, so fingers crossed. And then recovers for longevity. We should be able to recover on the Screamtail. As I said, good as gold means the Screamtail can taunt us, can T-Wave us, can Encore us, can trick us, so, perfect. Next up, we have Iron Valiant with the Booster Energy set. This boosts our speed because we hit 360 speed, so in order to have max attack and be speed boosting. And we're running Sword Stance, Shadow Claw, Spirit Break, and Drain Punch. This set can definitely win if the Screamtail is chipped, and especially if it's going to be more Spidef oriented, because then it can take the Shadow Claw hit, right? That's basically how it works. And yeah, if I get a Sword Stance up and the Screamtail is chipped, I believe this just wins, because I don't think the Chien-Pao Shard kills me from full. And that's why I have Drain Punch too, to just get health back if I can, instead of running close combat and lowering my defense. And it does, if the Iron Treads Choppel is broken or it's taken chipped, then the Drain Punch picks that off too. Spirit Break OHKOs the Coco Wall, OHKOs the Hydra, and the Shadow Claw OHKOs the Ceruledge. I'm not sure if it OHKOs the Toxtricity, so maybe we'll have to chip that in range as well. And then, even if the Ditto copies it, we can just go, because we have booster speed, not booster attack, we can just go into Quagsire and pretty much wall our Valiant, which is pretty cool. And next up, we have Quagsire, another necessity in this game. We're running Rocky Helmet to get chip on the Chien-Pao. This is going to be our switch first. And we're running Earthquake, Body Press, Recover, Spikes. Earthquake, as I said, is pretty strong versus this team in general because the Lando has it too. And Body Press was just to make sure I hit the Hydra and the Saru and the Qianpao as hard as I can. And also, I think hit Serena and stuff a little harder. And then Spikes was just in case. I don't know what fourth move to put on it, so I put Spikes. So yeah, let's jump into the game. As you can see, our opponent decided to bring us 6 of Qianpao, Iron Treads, Quackle Wall, Screamtail, Hydreigon, and Serena. As I said, his team is more physically offensive than specially. It's just the Hydra, which makes our lives a little easier. Well, I shouldn't disrespect the Screamtail like that. It can obviously be Calm Mind, Booster Energy or something, but more likely defensive to check Valiant. Anyway, as I said, I was going to lead Rotom and click Trick. No matter what, he leads Hydra, and unless he's like Specs, I don't even think Specs Draco kill. I know I did some calcs when I was building, but I wasn't calculating during the battle. I just clicked, what do you call it? I just clicked Trick, as he does click the U-turn, and most likely going to Serena, so I just Trick it and give it the Black Sludge and get the boots, which is fine. Here, I don't know its speed, so I just go into Goldengo, which should wall this because this doesn't have knockoff. As he does click the U-turn and goes into Treads, so I just go back into Rotom because my Rotom should wall this. I was expecting rocks there, but I guess Earthquake is fair just in case, you know. Try to get Chip on it for Qianpao or, you know, Screamtail or something. So I can understand the Earthquake. But I just get Rotom, which is pretty cool, so I can just click the light screen here as the Hydra comes in. So I just click Volt Switch now, because with the light screen I should definitely eat anything Hydra wants to do. And if I wanted to sub or whatever, I can, you know, scout that and then get the slow Volt Switch. But he does switch into the Serena, so we are able to Volt Switch, get momentum, and go into Lando as it takes more Black Sludge. And here I decide to get up my rocks as the Serena does stay and it clicks U-turn, which is fine, and goes into the Quackle Wall. Here not wanting to going to Quagsire early, just because if he was like Banded U-turn or something, I didn't really want to take it, and I was fine. Like, I wanted to know what the Quackle Wall was basically because I've seen this thing do demon things, so I was like, I'm just gonna stay in Earthquake. I also feel like Lando is bulky and probably lives a non. Oh, wait, he revealed not to be Boots, but I just wanted to know what it was, like if it was Carve or something, you know. So I just stand in Earthquake, and as you can see, that does a lot of damage. 76 is pretty decent damage. As he does click U-turn, does a good amount of damage, but not the end of the world. As in comes the Qianpao. I do have my Yachi intact, but I just go into Quagsire. As he does click the Ice Spinner, does a lot, but it's not a 2-hit KO. So I believe it just recovered. Also, it revealed to be Boot, so that was good. As in comes the Serena, as I just recover, and it's going to take more damage to the Black Sludge. I can just go Goldengo now, trying to block the spin if he has it, as he just clicks Synthesis, which is fine. So I decide to use this to click Nasty Plot, because I click Nasty Plot because if he goes like Hydra or Qianpao, well, he can't really go Qianpao because I could click like Mega Rain. So there's only options for Treads or Hydra, in my opinion, or sacking out the Serena. And I figured if he goes Hydra, I can stay in with my Colbur Berry and hit the Make It Rain and take it out. And if he goes Treads, I can just go Rotom. And like if he clicks Spin to get away with rocks, that's fine. But I get my Rotom in, and then I can click a Volt Switch or Hydra, whatever, right? Or even Light Screen. Like, I have a bunch of plays to make. So I didn't really mind it, and if he, you know, stayed in to click U-turn or whatever, I'm getting like, I get the +2, so I didn't really mind it too much. So in comes the Hydra. I decided to stay in, praying not to get flinched so I can Make It Rain, as he does click Dark Pulse, but we don't get flinched, so we take it out with the Make It Rain, so the Hydra is gone, which is really good. That's one of the Lando Resists gone, which is really nice. In comes the Treads. I just go into Rotom again as he does Earthquake. He does spin this time, and I believe I clicked Hydro, and unfortunately missed. It would have been really nice to get damage on the Treads, so that would be in Shadow Ball range. So like next time a Goldengo is in, I can just click Shadow Ball, right, to chip it, but it's okay, not the end of the world. I click Volt Switch now, expecting him to swap after the Hydro Miss, as he does go Serena, so we are able to get momentum again. I believe I clicked U-turn this time, hoping it would kill, but it just lives on 10, which is a little unfortunate, as the Serena does click Power Whip, but dies to the Black Sludge, so we're looking good here. In comes the Quackawall. I wanted to keep my Gholdengo around for the Screamtail, because without it, it could be a little annoying to break, potentially. So I go into the Zarude, because he's not clicking CC on Gholdengo, right? So I just go into Zarude, which covers Aqua Step, covers Wave Crash. I didn't expect a U-turn to come out. Maybe, actually, I guess maybe this was a little way too aggro, huh? And maybe I should have gone Rotom, but I made the Zarude plan. It works out. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the GOAT? Question mark? No, I don't know. I think this was a bad play in hindsight. This is me being overly aggressive when I don't need to, because I'm already up 6-4 and the Quackawall's almost dead and the Quagsire beats 2 of his Mons and the Gholdengo beats the other one. Yeah, I don't think I needed to lose my Zarude there, because I feel like the U-turn would have killed. Because what is this? Aqua Step is base 1, base 60, and I did the 26. So U-turn is what, base 280? 4 times? Yeah, I would have died to the U-turn, so I don't think I should have made this play. But then if he goes into Quackawall, clicks U-turn on my Gholdengo, and if I decide to sack it, just takes damage on something for no reason, right? So, I don't know, maybe it was okay. Right now, it doesn't look like a great play. I should have just gone Rotom. And, because if he clicks Aqua Step, I don't think CC kill, Aqua Step into CC kill, and I could just Volt Switch out. And like U-turn didn't do that much. Like he would have to still go into something and I can swap. So yeah, maybe Rotom was the better play. This is not the play, but it works out. And here I believe I just click CC, which is good because I catch the Chople Berry on the treads. I click CC because I killed the Quackawall, and it didn't miss. I didn't want to miss Power Whip. And if he went Screamtail, it was whatever. So I click CC and break the Chople, which is good. And I'm just going to Rotom on my on the treads. As he clicks Ice Spinner, I click Hydro and miss again, which is fine. And I believe I click Volt Switch here as the Wish comes out. And here I decide to recover just to make sure my Gholdengo is healthy enough, as he does make a really good aggro play and wishes up his Quackawall, which is scary for sure. Like, this is super scary because now the Quackawall is, you know, healthy. And Aqua Step, and the Aqua Step did 25. Wait, was this banded then? Because that seems like a lot. Or is it just that strong? Because if it's not banded and that's the damage, then CC definitely killed, right? Because Aqua Step is base 60, CC is base 180, so yeah. So I'm guessing that was banded damage? Question mark? I don't know. I haven't... I'm gonna guess this is banded. Because Rotom should not take that much, in my opinion. But anyway, I decide to click Volt Switch as he decides to block it with the treads, which is fine. And as I go for another Hydro and miss. So I'm 0 for 3 for Hydro in this game. It doesn't really matter, it's fine. And I believe I clicked Light Screen this time and then decide to Volt out as he does click Psychic. But I'm able to click Volt and it does 12, revealing he's Pidef though. Because I'm pretty sure Volt from Rotom would do like 15 or something otherwise. So this is Pidef. So I can just go into Gholdengo, and I know he's going to wish into Treads, but I still make the plot play. But he does go into Treads, so I'm like, okay, I can just go back into Rotom, and not the end of the world. And at this point, I'm like, oh, he reads the Iron Head. So I was like, oh, he doesn't have a way of hitting Quagsire or the Rotom. So I was like, I can just get up my light screen up here again, and then save the sack as I go into Quagsire as he does take the Rocky Helmet. And I believe I get up a Spike here because I know the Screamtail is leftover, so I can start getting to chip on the treads, Quackawall, and Screamtail until he spins. In comes the Screamtail wishes up as I make the double into Lando on the incoming treads this time. I know I should live in Ice Spinner with my Yachi, especially after Intimidate, which is what I do, and I click the Earthquake and do 85%, which is in Rocky Helmet range, so I just switch out into the Quagsire now, in case you wanted to spin or whatever, as he just decided to click Ice Spinner and dies to the helmet, which is perfect, which means our spike stays up, which is going to be really good. And if we can get another layer, or maybe all three, then our Iron Valiant can definitely win once we have hazards up. So that's what I was going for. Here the Coco Wall comes in, so I decide to sack off the Rotom, as he does click Wave Crash and not Aqua Step, so I'm guessing it was Choice Band, because that's why you would run it. So I go into Lando, and I click Earthquake. I don't know why. I didn't... Once you read Wave Crash, I was like, oh, he's probably not Jet, right? Because you need CC. Like, U-Turn, Aqua Step, Wave Crash, Aqua Jet makes no sense into Rotom. Like, or even War Absorb, Quagsire, like, you don't hit it, right? Or Noivern, right? So... Well, I guess this set is still walled by Noivern, but so yeah, I was like, so I just ran Earthquake. He does stay in, and I'm able to do a chunk of damage and take out the Coco Wall, which is really good. So Lando gets a kill, which is epic. In comes the Chien-Pao. I don't want it to SD, so I just stay in to click Earthquake. And now I go into the Quagsire to click Body Press as the Scream Tail comes in, which is fine because I can go into Goldengo if he makes the double into Chien-Pao, good on him, but he just clicks the Wish, and I believe here I just clicked the Make It Rain in case he made the hard play into Chien-Pao, but the Scream Tail stays in and eats it pretty well, so I was like, okay, I can just I believe I clicked Make It Rain again to make sure he doesn't go Chien-Pao, and I was like, okay, now I'll just Wish up, I'll just plot up on the expected Protect, and that's what happens. And I believe I Make It Rain. Yeah, I Make It Rain again as he clicks Wish. And this time I'm like, okay, he's seen that I'm willing to abuse the Protect. So I go for the Make It Rain again and catch the Chien-Pao, and that should be game over because the Scream Tail cannot beat my Goldengo. So yeah, I just click Make It Rain and take out Scream Tail as well. So Goldengo putting in the work. I think he got 3 kills. Because it got the Hydra, Chien-Pao, and Scream Tail, right? Yeah, 3 kills for the Goldengo, 1 kill for Lando off the bench, which is pretty cool. I think we had some pretty good prep here. Trick, Black Sludge, and the Goldengo set was pretty good. I think the Lando set was pretty decent. I'm still not sure how I feel about the team. I feel like whenever I prep, I feel like my mons don't hit hard enough and it's annoying breaking. But then Goldengo is one of the best abusers of fat. So on paper it looks, I mean, in practice it works a lot better than on paper is what I see. But I don't know, it still feels like my team lacks another breaker outside of Valiant. Because Goldengo is not the best versus offensive teams because, you know, its P-tier is in a little awkward state and it is weak to a lot of common typings, dark, fire, ground, you know, and doesn't resist a lot. So it's a little tough, but so far it's been working. I'm still probably gonna make changes, but I have this rule where I must use every Pokemon at least once before I drop it, so I definitely have to bring Arcanine off the bench and Mach, and is that it? Have I used everything else? I've used the top 5, I've used Noivern, I've used Dunsparce and Quag, yeah, so it's just Mach and Arcanine, okay. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you prefer better, live comm or post comm. I think next one I'll probably do live comm just because so you can see my live reaction, I guess. And, you know, so you know, like it's genuine and whatnot. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!